Shalom, 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 Mashapak, shalom, family. It's your brother Obadiah of the Torah Group coming to you on this Tuesday night with another Just Give Me book. This platform may be new to some. I think this is only our third or fourth episode or show, however you want to label us. But this Just Give Me Book TV, we're dedicated to discussing any topic regarding the ancient Israelites, any biblical topic out there. We try to dissect and dig into those topics with concrete witnesses, concrete evidence. We will never tell you what to believe. We will share what we believe, but we would just present information and allow you to take the information. We share the sources with you, and we allow you to do your own study and pray to the Father to see what the Father lays on your heart. Tonight is going to be a very sensitive topic. We're going to dig into. I pray the Most High will be done. I pray that His Son gets the glory tonight. Tonight we're gonna celebrate unhappy Thanksgiving. Unhappy Thanksgiving, and just in a nutshell, we try not to finger point at our brothers and sisters because we were all in the same boat at one time. Those of us who are learning new things and getting new revelations, sometimes our feelings get hurt when we're not received by family and friends, but that is to be expected. So tonight, with the help of our Father and by the blood of His only begotten Son, we're going to share some history about this holiday or hell day coming up that the pagans call Thanksgiving. But before I do it, I want to intro with this video from this sister, and I think this will be the best intro. And again, let me just warn you all, whether you be on inside the Zoom link or whether you're on Facebook Live, we are using the mobile phone for a hotspot. There's something wrong with the Wi-Fi tonight. Spectrum said they're working on the lines or whatever. So if this live stream is lagging too much, please let us know. This information is too important for it not to be heard. So if this hotspot is lagging too much, we're gonna just dismiss tonight, and we'll resume, Yah willing, tomorrow night. So just a warning: if this hotspot is lagging too much, we will discontinue and resume when this Wi-Fi is back working. But just to intro what we want to bring out tonight, I'm going to let my sis come on and share her testimony with you. I hope that's all right. Let me let my sis come on and share her testimony. 1 second, family. 1 second. So I apologize, family, but I want you to hear the sister's testimony about her experience with Thanksgiving, and I think the Most High blessed this sister with some talent. And let me do a new share, and I'm gonna let the sister open us up tonight. So I'm getting ready to do a new screen share, and I want you to I want you just to enjoy this sister's testimony. Give me 1 second, get it set up. And this is going to be the best intro to let y'all know what we're going to get into tonight. So something.
The killing, tribe of Gad need healing. So y'all preparing for y'all feast. And do your thing, I ain't hating. I just come to speak pure facts, cause with them lies I'm not affiliated, and I'ma be honest. I really had to find the words. Watching y'all from year to year is overrated and absurd, but you know what? I'ma stay in the spirit. Y'all just having a little billing like y'all doing no killing. I know the feeling. I used to get with my family and stuff too. Sit around and kick it and wickedness stuck together like glue. Not knowing my original language was Hebrew and the native Indians spoke that too. That is before they were conquered by their oppressors and wicked things they were forced to do. But it's just food. The meaning of it doesn't matter. But we are the 12 tribes just lost, destroyed, and scattered. But rather than learn the truth, y'all run and avoid y'all roots. Speak to defend your enemy. Stockholm Syndrome got the proof like some screws may be loose. But I said I was going to stay in the spirit. But that happy Thanksgiving, giving, I'm telling you now, I ain't trying to hear. I'm scared to go back to sleep. Y'all actually made me fear it as a people just delirious. Once upon a time, I now understand the true meaning of a curse. You in an alternate reality, and that's not even the worst. You think it's wise to sit and eat, celebrating your brother's hurt. Y'all need to revert. And some of y'all even research the history and y'all still passing the peas, amen, and white man victory. I really want y'all to feel me. They done turned royal bodies into turkey and blood into cranberry sauce. Oh, what y'all thought? They want you to believe this history is false so you can stay sleep a fake woke here in master's house. Shoot, be real with yourself. You ignore the pain of your own people and then go beg the Lord for help. Well, they say I'm a change. I hear his voice. I'm a sheep. Yeah, well, talk is cheap. You ain't celebrating Thanksgiving. Giving. You just going over there where your people be and pray to the Lord over food he told you not to eat. Silly me. I ain't even going in, sis. I'ma just chill outside. Oh, okay, it's no big deal. You just mocking genocide, man. Look me in my eye. All you niggas gotta die. Wait, dang, how I supposed to take that boy out? Oh, well, I trust in scripture, so that's true. It ain't no doubt. So with that being said, y'all have fun at y'all relatives' house and go to church on Sunday just to scream and shout. I know what it's about. Could you imagine being treated like a visitor or a prisoner in your own land, being forced on reservations and used just because they can? Man, y'all don't understand. All I can say is repent, for the kingdom's at hand. This truth is at high demand. Soon they'll all be at Israel's command. And tribe of Gad, don't worry, the Most High will reprimand. Let's just continue to build our nation. That is united we stand. Because I know y'all need healing. Sincerely, a healing poet.
Come on, y'all.
I'm posting this.
I gotta give her one more. We gotta bring this back. Y'all gotta hear. I know she spit fast. This sister spit fast, but what she just spit, family, is what we are dealing with tonight. We're our family and friends are getting ready to celebrate the mass genocide of people who look like us. But I don't want to make this a black thing. Everybody wants to make this a color thing. If you love humanity, there's no way you can sit at a Thanksgiving table with a clear conscience once we share this information with you tonight. So I'm gonna let sis come back because she spits fast, but I want y'all to catch what she's saying.
I began need healing. So y'all preparing for y'all feast. And do your thing, I ain't hating. I just come to speak pure facts, cause with them lies I'm not affiliated, and I'ma be honest. I really had to find the words. Watching y'all from year to year is overrated and absurd, but you know what? I'ma stay in the spirit. Y'all just having a little billing like y'all doing no killing. I know the feeling. I used to get with my family and stuff too. Sit around and kick it and wickedness stuck together like glue. Not knowing my original language was Hebrew and the native Indians spoke that too. That is before they were conquered by their oppressors and wicked things they were forced to do. But it's just food. The meaning of it doesn't matter. But we are the 12 tribes just lost, destroyed, and scattered. But rather than learn the truth, y'all run and avoid y'all roots. Speak to defend your enemy. Stockholm Syndrome got the proof like some screws may be loose. But I said I was going to stay in the spirit. But that happy Thanksgiving, giving, I'm telling you now, I ain't trying to hear. I'm scared to go back to sleep. Y'all actually made me fear it as a people just delirious. Once upon a time, I now understand the true meaning of a curse. You in an alternate reality, and that's not even the worst. You think it's wise to sit and eat, celebrating your brother's hurt. Y'all need to revert. And some of y'all even research the history and y'all still passing the peas, amen, and white man victory. I really want y'all to feel me. They done turned royal bodies into turkey and blood into cranberry sauce. Oh, what y'all thought? They want you to believe this history is false so you can stay sleep a fake woke here in master's house. I mean, shoot, be real with yourself. You ignore the pain of your own people and then go beg the Lord for help. Well, they say I'm a change. I hear his voice. I'm a sheep. Yeah, well, talk is cheap. You ain't celebrating Thanksgiving. I mean, giving. You just going over there where your people be and pray to the Lord over food he told you not to eat. Silly me. I ain't even going in since I'ma just chill outside. Oh, okay, it's no big deal. You just mocking genocide, man. Look me in my eye. All you niggas gotta die. Wait, dang, I'm supposed to take that boy out. Oh, well, I trust in scripture, so that's true. It ain't no doubt. So with that being said, y'all have fun at y'all relatives' house and go to church on Sunday just to scream and shout. I know what it's about. Could you imagine being treated like a visitor or a prisoner in your own land, being forced on reservations and used just because they can? Man, y'all don't understand. All I can say is repent, for the kingdom's at hand. This truth is at high demand. Soon they'll all be at Israel's command. And tribe of Gad, don't worry, the Most High will reprimand. Let's just continue to build our nation. That is united we stand. Because I know y'all need healing. Sincerely, a healing poet.
Hallelujah. Hallelujah. I found this today on Facebook. Someone posted it, and I'm gonna post a link inside this class. Since she posted that on her YouTube channel 2 years ago, and I'm surprised that I just it's just getting around to my year, because we've been heavy in this for a couple of years. But that's what we're here to help our brothers and sisters see. We all grew up here in America. What we now know is one station of Babylon. The whole world is Babylon. America is really like the seat of Babylon. Whatever America push, the world pushes it through the Roman Empire. But I don't want this to be like a finger pointing, a night. The scrolls say, my people are destroyed for lack of knowledge. So we know a lot of our brothers and sisters, big mama, auntie, big unc, we know a lot of them are celebrating this Thanksgiving out of ignorance. You don't know. And that's what we're here to do. So whether you join us live inside this Zoom class, or whether you're live on Facebook, or if you catch this at a later date, we pray the Most High will be done. But I want to open up with this. I want to lay this on your mind. I want to lay this on your heart, and it's a rhetorical question, but just really think about this question as we present this information. Imagine you're sitting at this table. I'm not going to call it picnic table, because we know picnic is a derogatory term about our people. But imagine you're sitting at a barbecue table at work, outside in your college quad area, and you're sitting at this table every day. And every day you sit at this table to eat your meal. And this table has like a little light red, rosy red stain on it, as if a child might have left a cherry taffy on the table. So every day you come out to this table to enjoy your lunch or just enjoy some fresh air. And as you're reading or meditating or enjoying the Most High's creation, sometimes you just rub your finger in that little light red spot just out of boredom. You do this for years, 5, 10 years, same table, same time every day, same index finger rubbing this little light red spot. And then imagine one day someone comes out and joins you at this table, and they say, hey, do you know your uncle was killed on this table? And your mouth just drops wide open. Say, what? Yeah, your uncle was killed on this table. And yet you see that red spot, that light red spot right there? That's the rest of his blood that they couldn't clean up. Imagine that. You've been sitting at this table eating your food 5 to 10 years at this table, and then you find out your uncle was murdered on this table. Not only that, but his blood, your DNA is right still on this table, and you've been playing in it. Would you still eat at that table? Would you say, oh well, I didn't know him anyway? oh, that was a longer time ago. Would you still eat at that table? Put your finger in your uncle's blood? That's what we're going to go over tonight and bring out with the cup of Hamashiach. To my right, I have my brother in arms. I'm going to let him introduce himself tonight.
Nariah Ban Yahawada.
And to his right,
Shamaria.
and we're going to be your brothers in arms tonight. And this is not attacking anyone, because whether you be let me just let this flow. I'm just let the Most High flow. There's 4 types of Israelites in this continental United States. There's 4 types of Israelites. There's the ancient Israelite, there's the chattel slavery Israelite, and then you have the new modern immigrant Israelite, and then you have the new modern, how can I label this 4th one? It's a mixture. The fourth Israelite is a mixture of the ancient Israelite and the chattel slavery Israelite. They're known as Puerto Ricans, Dominicans, Hispanics. There's 4 types of Israelites living in this land, and most of them don't even know that they're Israelites. So again, the first and most oldest is the ancient Israelite. And that's what we're going to go over. The ancient Israelites, they were here before anybody. Before anybody thought to come here, the ancient Israelites, they became known as Indians. They were here first. And that's what this Thanksgiving is celebrating. The second category, we became known as niggers, Negroes, Blacks, Afro-Americans. We came next. And then the third category is like the ones you see, they are truly African Americans. They move over here willingly for a better life. Salakia. So the immigrants that come from Africa, West Africa, Ethiopia, Central Africa, Sub-Sahara, many of them are Israelites, and they are true African Americans because they was born and raised in the continent of Africa, and they migrated over here in hopes of a better life. And the 4th category, they're a mixture of the ancient Israelites known as Indians and us so-called chattel slavery Israelites known as Negroes. We made it because we looked alike, we had similar cultures, and we made it and had children. You know these children today to be Hispanics, Puerto Ricans. I have one right next to me. You can't tell him apart from me. He has the same, what they call it, fancy word, phenomes. The Puerto Ricans and Blacks have the same phenomes because we're the same people. So there's 4 types of Israelites in this land called America, and many people don't know who we are. So with the help of Yah tonight, we're going to share some history for you to dig up and research on your own. Y'all also want to add anything before we get into it?
No.
I'm going to take our camera off because I see that's better when we go for the playback. Are you up online with us?
Yeah.
Is Sharon?
Mm-hmm.
So family, again, just a warning, please let us know. We're on a mobile hotspot tonight. Spectrum is having some kind of repair. They're probably putting up more 5G in the area, but they said they're not going to repair the service until 8 o'clock. So we're on our cell phone tonight for a hotspot. If the feed, the live stream is lagging too much where you can't even understand what we're saying, please let us know. We will stop and resume this tomorrow night. This information is too important not to be heard. So those inside the Zoom classroom with us, please let us know if this information is not coming across clearly. So happy Thanksgiving more than a meal. This is Salakia. This is unhappy Thanksgiving more than a meal. And again, this is not about black or white. If you are a human being, once you learn the true history of what happened and what this day is commemorating, no self-righteous human being, whether you don't even have to be a Christian, whether you have love for the fellow man, because aren't we all, for the time being, we're just going to go there, aren't we all human?
This is for the people that say all lives matter.
Right, all lives matter. So if you sincerely love humanity, you are a humanitarian, and all lives matter. What we share tonight, you should never enjoy a Thanksgiving dinner again. So welcome to Happy or Unhappy Thanksgiving, family. We will take questions. If you see a pause in the presentation, you're more than welcome, if you're inside the room with us, to raise your hand and we'll try to field your questions, or you could wait till the end. So Turkey Day. And what I noticed over the years, especially since the Most High has restored, blessed me with my identity, it's not by accident they keep like trying to soften the names of these days and make it like all inclusive. Like instead of Christmas, it's Merry Xmas. Like no matter what it don't matter if you don't believe in Jesus. We just celebrating something unknown so we all can be drunk together. And so they take Turkey Day and it's just about a meal. It ain't about whether you're a pilgrim, descendant of pilgrims. It don't matter. It's just Turkey Day. It's all about a meal. And that takes your mind off what you got in front of you. That's they've been doing this to us. I mean, once the Most High wake you up, family, it's really unbearable to be around these people. They keep moving the goalposts and keep changing names and words to keep you asleep. So Turkey Day, the bad and the ugly. There is no good about this day. There's no reason for you to be giving thanks unless you are a descendant of those, for the time being, we're going to call them pilgrims. There's only one group who should be having thanks on this day, and it's the children. I'm just going to say it. I'm tired of playing. It's the children of the murderers. If you're not a descendant of the murderers, you don't have no reason to be giving thanks. But this religion of Christianity Christianized everything. We just give thanks to Jesus that we made another year and we made it through COVID. They try to put everything on our Messiah. But tonight, with the help of y'all, we're going to expose the lies. So first, we're going to give you the origins. And we're not going to bore you with all the details. We're just going to give you like a very quick topical origin about this hell day. And as always, how the Torah Group teach, we just give you some pieces to springboard your own research. I pray that everyone's becoming Bereans and you're not still sitting in front of YouTube soaking everybody's classes up like, wow, that's good, and then closing the computer without going and verifying what this person said. So we're not going to get in depth tonight. We're going to give you some surface facts that you can easily find on your dumb phone, your smartphone. Use any little smartphone and Google what I'm saying, and this information comes up. So we're going to give you the origins of this day. Then we're going to discuss the beneficiaries. Who are the beneficiaries of this day? And of course, that's a day giveaway. Y'all probably already know that. And then I hate putting this third because this nation is supposed to be a Christian nation, right? Mm-hmm. And we're supposed to be Christians. So everything we do should be based on the Bible. So we're going to take a look and see if this Thanksgiving Day has any biblical authority. We're going to check our scrolls. And I should have started with this, but just give me some license right now. And then we're going to end this with the forgotten victims. We're going to honor our fallen ancestors, but more importantly, we're going to give honor to the Most High because he said he was going to do this to us. So we're not pointing fingers at the pilgrims, the colonizers, the murderers. We're pointing fingers at our own ancestors because once we bring this information out and show you who these people were that were murdered, our Father said he was going to do this because we failed to keep our end of the contract. So One of you ops want to read the first slide for us, please?
The Pilgrims, Sweet Voyagers. In 1621, the Plymouth colonists and the Wampanoag shared an autumn harvest feast that is acknowledged today as one of the first Thanksgiving celebrations in the colonies.
So any website you Google, it's gonna paint the Pilgrims to be just adventurous people sailing across the great old ocean looking for the land of opportunity. We just witnessed the trial of one of our brothers jogging through a neighborhood. He was jogging trying to prolong his life just at the start of his life. What, he was 25?
Somewhere around there.
He's jogging through a neighborhood and he wasn't labeled as a pilgrim. He wasn't labeled as a voyager. He wasn't labeled as, oh, someone out on a stroll, someone out enjoying nature. He was labeled as a robber. But when it comes to the other people, oh, they're just voyagers. They're looking for a better life. So you mean to tell me all that land over in Europe, you couldn't find a better life in Europe? You had to sail way across the ocean, and when you got here, you just expected to be welcome with open arms. That's how they paint you. So this feast goes back to 1621. This feast goes back to 1621. 1621. I want you to just bear that in mind. Y'all want to read about our ancestor Squanto?
Squanto, seen as traitor to other tribesmen, mysteriously sold into slavery and shipped to Europe. Eventually found his way back to now colonies.
So you can Google Squanto. This image is a statue they have, I've forgotten what state. And Squanto was perceived as to the fellow Indians as pretty much Benedict Arnold. The fellow Indians was looking at Squanto like, why are you helping those people? These people don't mean us no good. So Squanto helped these people, these pilgrims, survive their first winter. He taught them how to plant corn. He taught them how to fish the rivers. And mysteriously, Squantos winds up being sold as a slave. And they sold him because he's a true Native American. They couldn't leave him here because this is his home. He knows all the back roads, all the tunnels, all the hollow trees. So they had to send him back to Europe. Now, to be fair and to be objective, I want to say by this time, there's at least 3 groups of colonizers: the English, the Dutch, and the Spaniards. So the details of which one of these Europeans kidnapped and sold him is kind of sketchy. But my feeling is, if he helped you survive, wouldn't you do everything you could to get him back? He had to somehow wind up on a fishing boat, expedition boat from Spain, and made it back over here. So these pilgrims that he helped survive had no conscience trying to find out what happened to him, who sold him, or where he was. He had to make it back to now is their land, now it's the colonies. He had to make it back over here on his own merit. What is Sirach 12 and 10? Can y'all get that for us? Sirach 12 and 10. Y'all know we're gonna give scriptures. We ain't here just blowing smoke. Y'all know we're gonna give the people scriptures. Sirach or Ecclesiasticus 12 and 10. Just read it when you have it up.
Never trust your enemy, for like as iron rusts, so is his wickedness.
Never trust your enemy. Why?
For like as iron rusts, so is his wickedness.
You can't trust your enemy because he's going to be slick and subtle and serpentine. So Squanto trying to be a good man because he's a Hebrew, because he's an Israelite, and we have a commandment. Wow, isn't this funny? We have a commandment to treat strangers well because Abraham always treated strangers well. So Squanto went against his own fellow tribesmen, helped these Europeans survive, and somehow mysteriously he gets sold into slavery. No one comes back for him. Sirach 12 and 10, never trust your enemy. Because now they tell you in the history books, there were 5 civilized tribes. These colonizers got together and says, oh, these 5 tribes are civilized. Why are they civilized? Because they fell for your lies. They fell for your game that you wanted to be friends. So since they were so civilized, these 5 tribes, where are they now?
In the dirt.
In the dirt. Because they trusted their enemy. These 5 groups that you called the 5 civilized tribes, they're nowhere to be found because they trusted their enemy and you kept taking and taking, raping and raping. Never trust your enemy. Let's read about King Philip.
King Philip's War, 1620 to 1676, 56 years later. The underlying cause of the war was the colonists' unrelenting desire for more and more land.
What was the cause of the war?
The unrelenting desire for more and more land.
King Philip is his English name that these, I'm trying to keep myself contained. I'm trying to keep myself contained. These colonizers gave him the name of King Philip. He's a Native American. He's an Israelite, a Hebrew. He's a dark Indian. His real name is Chief Metacon. Chief Metacon. And Chief Metacon has seen enough of these friendly voyagers. He's seen through their lies. He knew that their handshake meant nothing. So Chief Metacon, he started rallying up the fellow Indians, saying, we got to get these invaders, we got to get these thieves out of here. So let's just put this in perspective to show you what we're dealing with, family. The first harvest festival that one of our ancestors helped you make it to, Squanto, happened in 1620. What's that, 56 years later? 56 years later, we're fighting for our own land that you didn't even know about. But y'all some good Americans. This land is your land. This land is our land. Got us singing this in their schools. This land is your land. This land is our land. What was the underlying cause of this war, family?
Unrelenting desire for more and more land.
This happened because we didn't obey our father. We broke his commandments. He sent these people after us. But I'm getting ahead of myself. The point I want to bring out, family, I want you to concentrate on. The first so-called Thanksgiving over here was in 1620. By 1676, 50 years later, the Indians are fighting for survival. Fighting for survival. Why? Because the European invaders want more and more and more land. I'll never forget when I joined the Army. I joined at a late age, trying to, pay back my student loans. And in the mess hall, we couldn't talk. If you got caught talking in the mess hall, you would get sent to the end of the line. And if you ain't got enough time to eat, that's on you. So I would focus my eyes on the back of my battle buddy's back of his head. I could tell you if he had waves. I could tell you how he brushed his hair and everything. And then when I got tired of peering a hole in back of my partner's head, I would fix my eyes on the wall. And in the mess hall, they had this picture. And I just every day I'm looking at this picture, the Trail of Tears, the Trail of Tears. And it's these pilgrims rounding up the Indians and pushing them out further west. Thank you for showing us how to survive. Thank you for all this. We got the corn stalks popping. We got the squash and the okra. Thank you. Now y'all keep it moving out west. A Trail of Tears. And I could never sing the Army song after that. There's one stanza of the Army song. I would get quiet when we got to it. It says, Proud of all that we have done, fighting till the battle is won. Every time we got to that stanza, I would stop singing. Because I'm not proud of all y'all done to my people. How am I sing this song in mess hall? I got a trail of tears, people who look like I know is my people. This happened to us, family, not because the colonizers were evil per se, because we didn't keep the laws, statutes, and commandments. But let's stay on track. This is one of the first, what you would call statesmen of the colonies. And what y'all notice about this congressman?
Non-melanated.
He's non-melanated. What else y'all notice?
He look like he's supposed to be writing something, but he ain't got no paper.
Might be a mason of some kind.
You see that? You see that elbow?
Mm-hmm.
His body is forming the Mason square, and his elbow is forming the Mason square. Now, I didn't pick up the pen, not writing nothing, but isn't that ironic how you're writing a visible contract, and that's what you gave the Indians? Invisible contracts that you didn't keep. These people are intentional, huh? Nothing they do is a coincidence.
Mm-hmm.
Everything they do is planned and methodical. So here's this Mason, a descendant of the Pilgrims. If you're not a descendant of the Pilgrims family, you have no reason to celebrate Thanksgiving. So these congressmen, these assemblymen, and these other descendants, the Dutch, the descendants of those first generation of Pilgrims, their kids and grandkids are still with us. By all means, they have a right to celebrate. I applaud y'all. Y'all did a wonderful job of killing. Y'all did an awesome job. But for everybody else, whether you be a Pakistan American, Irish, if you're any other hyphenated group other than these Pilgrims, you have no reason to be celebrating Thanksgiving, because it's celebrating the mass murders of the Aborigines who were here first. Now, y'all ready for this? Remember I said the first Thanksgiving here happened when?
1620.
1620, right? The first Thanksgiving in this land happened in 1620. The first ship with 50 some odd niggers landed here in 1619. The first ship with 20 some odd niggers landed here in 1619. The first Thanksgiving was in 1620. The so-called Negro, the so-called Hispanic, what are you doing even trying to celebrate this day? Because in 1620, you would have been in chattel slavery. You would have been in chains, living in a chicken coop, trying to find bugs to survive on, trying to kill a squirrel or a rabbit. You wouldn't have had no turkey in 1620. So what are you doing, so-called Puerto Rican, Dominican, Negro, Black, African? What are you doing? What are you celebrating? What are you celebrating? So let's get into is this feast, is this Thanksgiving have any can we twist the scriptures any way to make us feel good Christians, and celebrate this day with a clear conscience? Let's go to Leviticus 23, and we ain't gonna do them all. We're just gonna go to Leviticus 23, and we're gonna open up with verse 1, then we're gonna skip around. We're gonna try to help the Christians out and see if they got any kind of biblical authority to celebrate Thanksgiving. Leviticus 23, and can you read verse 1?
And Yahweh spoke unto Moses, saying, Speak unto the children of Israel, and say unto them concerning the feast of Yahweh, which ye shall proclaim to be holy convocations. Even these are my feasts.
Even these are my feasts. Leviticus 23, verse 2, the Most High, well, he's speaking to the Israelites, but every Protestant denomination is based on this book. So even if you're not an Israelite, you're following a loose doctrine. I'm trying to be nice, y'all. You following a loose doctrine of this book. So according to the Most High, the God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, who gave us our patriarchs, and we are the descendants of the 12 tribes, according to the God of heaven, these are my feasts. And we ain't going to run them all down, but if this is your first time hearing this, go to Leviticus chapter 23 and start at verse 1 and read the entire chapter, because our Father is so good to us. Not only does he tell us how to please him, he tells us how to set the day apart. He gives us instructions how to do everything. Now, if you want to do something extra, fine, but at least cover the bare minimums. I like to use that scenarios like your teacher give you a test out and you don't know nothing on the paper, but you know the extra credit. Or I'm gonna kill this extra credit. And you get a 0 on the test and then upset with the teacher. Like, I got the extra credit. It's extra credit. So you Christians, because that's how Dr. Seminary is gonna hit you. It don't say we can't celebrate. Okay, well, first, make sure you got the bare minimums covered before you try to start freestyling and add stuff in. So Leviticus 23, verse 2, these are the feasts of the Lord, right? Now, let's drop down for the sake of time. Let's drop down to, SELAH. Y'all keep me on track. So he says, these are the feasts of the Lord, which you shall proclaim to be holy convocations. So family, holy just means set apart. You know, you got 20 pastors, you're going to get 100 definitions of holy. Holy just means set apart. So you can't determine how you live holy. We can only determine how to live holy by the Most High. And convocations just means meetings. So in Leviticus 23, Abba Yah tells us all the days we ought to celebrate that's really holy, right? Now let's drop down to verse 39. Leviticus 23, verse 39.
Also in the 15th day of the 7th month.
What month?
7th month.
9th month.
7th month.
11th month?
7th month.
Okay.
When ye have gathered in the fruit of the land, ye shall keep a feast unto Yahweh 7 days. On the first day shall be a Shabbat, and on the 8th day shall be a Shabbat. This
is the feast that they think they're imitating. They're calling this the Feast of the Harvest. So it ain't about Thanksgiving. It's the harvest festival. But according to our Father, according to the God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, he says, celebrate the feast of ingathering, the feast of harvest in the 7th month. And not only does he tell you the 7th month, he says the 15th day of the 7th month. And he says it's not just for one day, it's for 7 days. So if you are a Christian and you pride yourself on living by the Holy Scriptures, you have no biblical authority to celebrate Thanksgiving, because today, right now, we're in the Roman, 9th month? I'm losing track of time, y'all.
11.
So, right, okay. So we're in the Romans 11th month, but they call it November. If you look up the etymology of Novem is 9. So how you calling this your 11th month, but your word history says it's the 9th month? These are the questions no one ever bothered to ask inside church. No one ever told us this. So whether you take it to be the 9th month or the 11th month, you're still out of line with Abba Yah. Abba Yah says the Feast of Harvest is the 7th month on the 15th day of the 7th month. And it's not for one day that you gorge and stuff yourself, trying to eat everything on that one day. No, we got 7 days so we can pace ourselves. Tomorrow I'm gonna get that sweet potato pie. Don't worry, Big Mama, I'm gonna be over your house 7 days to get it in. To give thanks to Abba Yah for giving us the fruit of the land.
They had sweet potato pie here this week too.
Come. So you have no biblical authority to celebrate a harvest during the 9th month, the 11th month of the Roman calendar. There's no biblical authority to celebrate a harvest festival during the pagans' 11th month. But to give you a stronger witness, let's go to Jeremiah 10 and 2. Yoram Yah, Jeremiah 10 and 2.
Shema.
Read.
Thus saith Yahweh, learn not the way of the heathen.
Do what?
Learn not the way of the heathen.
Thus saith the Most High, the God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, who Christians say they worship. He says, Jeremiah 10, verse 2, learn not the way of the heathen. So the harvest festival that celebrates the Most High, the harvest festival that gives honor to him for his great collard greens and watermelons and potatoes, it's in the 7th month, on the 15th day of the 7th month, and it's for 7 days. So Thanksgiving being every pagan year, November 24th for 1 day, is out of line with the God of heaven. You have no biblical authority to celebrate this day. Y'all want to add anything?
No, I mean, it's well said. It's well said. I mean, we don't celebrate or they don't celebrate any of the days that is told to celebrate in the Bible. But yet they claim to worship the power of the Bible, or the God of the Bible. So it's very ironic that, you know, they say they're following the scriptures, but they don't do pretty much anything that the scriptures say to do, and the things that the scripture says not to do, they do it. You know, so once you start understanding really the power they serve, it makes a lot more sense. When you realize, knowingly or unknowingly, they serving Satan. They're not serving the Most High. They're serving Baal. And when you realize that the same deities that they serving now has been the same deities they've been serving since Babylon and Canaan, especially. So it's nothing new under the sun. It's just continuing on till today's time.
So ultimately, it comes down to the strong delusion. And Satan has found a way to camouflage his feast days and make it seem good. And due to us being indoctrinated after us breaking the commandments and being sent into captivity and forgetting who we are due to our disobedience, we've allowed ourselves to be open to allow our oppressors teach us who we are. Because when you go back, we celebrate these holidays or holidays because, well, that's what our parents did. They celebrated because that's what their parents did. And eventually, so on and so forth, you get back to the oppressor, and it eventually goes right back to Satan. But because of us forgetting who we are, we don't even question these things. But praise be to Yah, with his righteousness waking us up in these last days, we're actually stopping to think about where these days actually came from. And with this technology, you're only choosing to be in darkness at this point. And that's because ultimately, even our people that hear this information and choose not to turn back to the Most High is simply because they hate the Most High.
Y'all both said some powerful things. Nariah, you just said there's no excuse with all the technology. You have a computer, a supercomputer on your hip. And just to do a Google search, where does it come from? And then Shemaria, you said the things in the Bible you don't do. And the things the Most High asks you not to do, you do.
Another thing too, think about how you came over as a slave the year before they had their first Thanksgiving. Then what year or approximately did Abraham Lincoln sign the Emancipation?
1865.
So now you come over in 1619. They've been having Thanksgiving since 1620. By 1865, and even before then, because you was a servant, but by 1865, even if you was a so-called freeman or freed person, you was willingly celebrating Thanksgiving from that time until now. So you got your ancestors of your great greats and all the way on, and the delusion has been that strong to where nobody's even like, what other people get conquered, put into slavery, and then they just morph into what they were conquered by,
into the image and likeness of the conquerors.
Like, and didn't, you know, basically the fight was beat out of them.
It's like when you said that, it's like that picture of the elephant.
We were domesticated. Yep.
And being tied to the post with a string. An elephant ain't going nowhere.
It started off as a big chain, and then over time, the elephant is fighting and wrestling with the chain, but it can't break it. And then over time, it starts gauging the length of the chain, and it knows, okay, I can only go but this far because this chain or whatever this thing is that's oppressing and holding me, I can't get any further. So over a period of time, it goes from maybe this big chain to a smaller one. And then eventually it just ties the string around the elephant, and the elephant is so domesticated that it doesn't even attempt to break away and break free because of the indoctrination that has been indoctrinated with. But really quick, if I can just read the very next chapter, Jeremiah 11. And I just read this last night, so it's definitely, I feel like it'll be edifying just to go over verses 7 and 8. And it says, now this is the Most High speaking, for I earnestly protested unto your fathers in the day that I brought them up out of the land of Egypt. And we just went over this past weekend that Egypt is referring to Matazariam. And that refers to the house of bondage or slavery. Even unto this day, rising early and protesting, saying, obey my voice. Now we know the Most High doesn't sleep and he doesn't get weary or faint. So the way I process this in my mind, our people were waking up and the thought of the Torah was on their mind, but let's see what happened. Yet they obeyed not, nor inclined their ear, but walked every one in the imagination of their evil heart. So this sounds like our people today saying, oh, well, we know these days are pagan, but we're going to worship God the way we want to, no matter what. We're going to worship him on Christmas. We're going to worship him on Easter. We're going to worship him on Thanksgiving, etc. But listen to what the Most High says. Listen, therefore, I will bring upon them all the words of this covenant, referring to the curses, which I commanded them to do, but they did them not. So the Most High gave us commandments and instructions on how to live, but due to our disobedience, he has to execute judgment and bring upon us the curses, which he told us, if you keep my word, then these won't come upon you. But if you try to mock and do what the heathens do, now I have to bring these judgments against you. And he was very, very descriptive to deter us from breaking the law. But our people are so hard-headed, just like today, we still did it.
Man, that's powerful. I want to go somewhere. I'm gonna save it for Shabbat though, because man, and that's what we're about to move into, the forgotten victims. But we want the family and friends who don't understand what this day truly is about. We're about to show you the true victims of this celebration called Thanksgiving. And I want you to just to hear what we're going to read, and we're going to share most of it on the screen. And just keep in mind, all this happened not because the Europeans were so evil, but because our Father is so righteous. Because he said right here in Jeremiah 11, he says, since you didn't keep the covenant that I gave you on Mount Sinai, and you new generation have did the same thing of your father's generation, I'm going to bring these curses upon you. So I don't want y'all focusing. I hope I ain't being too overzealous on the colonizers and the Europeans. But we're about to go into the victims, the forgotten victims. But first, can you get Psalms 83 or is it Psalms 81?
83 and 3.
83 and 3. Because fam, I grew up in you know, in the early 80s. And every year at this time, you know, in primary school, they'll bring Indians, air quotes, Indians to the school, dressed in these kilts and these fringes on, and got these feathers all over the place, and give us all these stories about these great Indians. And we're looking, and that image of the Indian was ingrained because you're indoctrinating these kids at 6, 7 years old every year. So by the time I got 10 years old, an Indian is this on the screen. Mm-hmm. And these people on the screen are government actors. These Indians that we know to be Indians, these fair-skinned Indians with, I call them, and I'm not trying to be mean, I'm just trying to give you a picture. I call them, they have like the horse hair. They don't have the woolly hair like us. Mm-hmm. That's why some of the Puerto Ricans, they lost some of their phenomes and their hair is no longer woolly. Their hair is straight like a horse because of the raping. So every year as a kid, from like preschool to like 4th, 5th grade, we have these assemblies with these Native Americans and having powwow, hey y'all, hey y'all, hey y'all. And so we grew up thinking these light-skinned people are Indians. Can you read Psalms 83 out?
I'm gonna start at verse 1, just so we can have context. Keep not thou silence, O God. Hold not thy peace, and be not still, O Yah. For lo, thine enemies make a tumult, and they that hate thee have lifted up the head. They have taken crafty counsel against your people, and consulted against your hidden ones. They have said, come, and let us cut them off from being a nation, that the name of Yashar'al may be no more in remembrance.
The people have taken crafty counsel against the Most High's children, against his hidden ones, the ones who have lost their identity. They have taken crafty counsel to keep us not knowing that we are the true children of Israel. So now our family and friends and the Most High, let's give the Most High some honor. The Most High is a man of his word. And our family has been so destroyed, they can't even think that they're Israelite. Mm-hmm. They can't even imagine that they're the Hebrews of the Bible.
We the Gentiles.
And then I grew up poor, but in the eyes of my grandfather's generation, my mom and dad was balling. Mm-hmm. Because my grandfather came from South Georgia where it was outhouses. Mm-hmm. So to come up to South Jersey and have a bathroom inside, oh, my people made it. Mm-hmm. And me and my wife, we talk about this because her family from the South too. And we didn't know growing up, you didn't know where your family was from, or when you was going to visit, you didn't think like, wow, mom and dad, they made a come up when they got up north. Mm-hmm. Like, because I remember as a kid going to Georgia, it was scary. My grandmom had a shotgun house, stone house, 2-bedroom. And off the kitchen, I had to step out on the back porch and the bathroom's right there. But my older cousins could come and throw stuff over the brick wall while I'm in the tub. There's spiders in the tub, daddy long legs. And so I got to come up the bathroom and the woods is right there. You hear crickets. So when my family moved up to Jersey and you got indoor plumbing, we made it. So the Most High destroyed our people so well, our family don't even think about, we shouldn't be celebrating this. Our family just happy to put some meat on the table. Mm-hmm. Thanking Jesus, hallelujah, I could provide some meat for my family. That's how the Most High said he was going to do. I'm going to destroy you as a people. You're not going to remember how great you are. Mm-hmm. You're not going to remember that you're called by my name. Mm-hmm. I beat you down like no one could. So that's why we're not blaming our family and friends who don't know who they are. We're sharing this history so you can learn, research it yourself and understand you have no business celebrating Thanksgiving. So these people that they give us to be Indians that's on your screen, these people are actors. Now, here's just a like a cartoon drawing of a Wampanoag chief. And you see even the drawing is darker than those people. And this was from the like 1700s. So originally they were making true pictures of the Indians. But because they are Confederate against us hidden ones, over time, what they do, y'all?
Whited it out.
Keep lightening and lightening and lightening till me and you come up. We don't even know that they're originally dark like you and I. So this is a sketch drawing from the 1700s, I believe. And this is what the Wampanoag chief looked like. And you can see he's dark. He looks nothing like that $5 Indian. But these are the images they don't teach in school anymore. I wonder why. So where do we get this idea of these fair skin? And another thing I noticed, these imposter Indians, they got to keep their hair braided with rubber bands and all kind of gel. Y'all notice that? And y'all know our people, we can braid our hair with straight raw, no grease, no nothing. And it's going to stay braided.
We use grease to try to braid it.
Yeah, it's so coarse, so woolly.
My genre just...
So y'all they can't even keep their hair braided without rubber bands and all kind of stuff. So where did these $5 Indians come from, family? Let's find out.
Than they were when they were heathens. Quote from historian Jack D. Forbes. In 1719, South Carolina decided who should be an Indian for tax purposes, since American Indian slaves were taxed at a lesser rate than African slaves.
Y'all catch that? They decided who was going to be an Indian for tax. Let's bring this back 1 second. They decide who's going to be an Indian for tax purposes.
Indian slaves were taxed at a lesser rate than African slaves. Purposes, since American Indian slaves were taxed at a lesser rate than African slaves. The act stated, quote, and for preventing all doubts and scruples that may arise, what ought to be rated on musties, mulattoes, etc., all such slaves are not entirely Indian shall be accounted as Negro, end quote. Forbes found this to be significant. He said that at the time, musties and mulattoes were considered persons of Native American ancestry, he wrote. My judgment, to be discussed later, is that a mustee was primarily part African and American Indian, and that a mulatto was usually part European and American Indian. This act also significant because it asserts that part American Indians with or without African ancestry should be counted as Negroes, thus having an implication for all later slave censuses, end quote.
Some people have a deep, abiding respect for the natural beauty that was once this country. And some people don't. People start pollution. People can stop it. Write for Pollution Booklet, Box 1771, Radio City Station, New York.
Old Iron Eyes Cody, aka the Crying Indian. Iron Eyes Cody is known for being the face of an American Indian with over 30 movies and television shows to his credit, he became the face of an American Indian.
How are you, Iron Eyes? You look great. How have you been?
Oh, I'm doing fine.
Iron Eyes, your father, Silent Films. His name was?
Plume Cody. Thomas Plume Cody.
Thomas Plume Cody. Do you remember at the first, he was a technician for, he was a technical
MGM
advisor at MGM Studios?
Yeah, he brought me out here when I was about almost 8 years old to teach a boy in a thing called Squaw Man with Lupe Velez, and she's gonna marry an Englishman.
Although surprising as it may sound, old Iron Eyes wasn't actually a Native American. In fact, it came out later that he was of Italian ancestry.
Yeah.
Many films.
Oh, yes,
John
I made
Wayne.
about 8 with John Wayne.
8?
At Republic Studio, about 8. About 4 of them with...
I wonder how they could have ever figured that out.
And I did a series with Randolph Scott. Yeah.
Working with these great stars, looking back at your career.
Oh, I liked them all. They treated me perfect. I liked them all. I was never shy. I was one of them guys that speak up, you know. I like what I'm saying, you know. Yeah.
There was no racial, no problems at all.
No,
What?
No problem at all. I was never
Did she
nervous.
just say what I thought she said?
I was never nervous in anything I did. All the 5 movies I made with Disney, like The Ready Goes to Camp 3 years ago, I did all of that, not nervous, and I got a bad back.
200 films you've done,
I got 285 films.
285.
That's definitely more than 30.
Man, drinking. Did you guys used to drink together?
I knew him when he was
Cody managed to keep up this ruse throughout most of his professional career. He denied being Italian until his death. However, after he died, it was revealed that he was not a Native American at all.
Fox picked him up, took him over to Fox. I'm over there with Fox with him and everything. Then I went Ford with him and everything. John was a guy that was an easy man to get along with. But,
If he really liked you, right?
oh, yes.
But you were going to say something. Go ahead. Like what?
He liked everybody if they like him, and they got to listen to him.
This image of an American Indian has been remanufactured to appear as a European. This deception is by design.
Can we get Psalms 83 again? This is why people think that these light-skinned people are Indians.
You want me to start at verse 1? Or you want me to
Just the verse of interest. Psalms 83, family.
The book of Psalm 83, verse 3. They have taken crafty counsel against your people and consulted against your hidden ones.
They've taken crafty counsel against the Most High's people and all confederate against your hidden ones. These people are not Indians, but it's ingrained in our heads what they look like. So our people can't even think that you're celebrating the murder of people who look like you because we've been brought up in their schools.
Verse 4, they have said, come and let us cut them off from being a nation, that the name of Israel may be no more in remembrance.
They want to erase the name of Israel, Yashar'ara, from off the map of the world. They don't want no one knowing who Israel is or where they are. I'm going to post a link to this, brothers. You have to watch his full presentation. I'm going to put the link in this video. This brother did an awesome job exposing their racism and their lies. But it says, oh, Iron-Eyed Cody was an Italian American. He's an Italian. He's a Roman. Can you read the screen out?
One Roman name for Black people was Indi, literally Indian. Undoubtedly, many woolly-haired Indians came to Rome from Asia or the East.
Nature Knows No Color Line, page 53 by J.A. Rogers. J.A. Rogers did the research. The word Indian is an Italian word. It's a Roman word, and it means black. It means dark. That's where you get the word Indian from, and then you get the word indigo. Mm-hmm. Ain't indigo a dark color? Mm-hmm. So how is you using Indian for Iron Eyes Cody? How can you use the word Indian for people who look like Iron Eyes Cody? Does he have dark and woolly hair?
No.
Got a bowl cut with.
he looked like.
Got a wig.
He looked like a Mo from the Three Stooges. Well, that's before y'all time.
Nah,
Yeah,
we know.
yeah.
Who that? Gina?
Yeah, that's a wig he got on.
That's what we said.
That's a wig.
Got a wig on. They're staging this thing, man. That's why I said when the joint was starting, they changed the laws first. Paperwork. Mm-hmm. We don't read it. We don't read anyway. Then the propaganda train has to come up. The propaganda. So not to go off subject, but with the glaze that's out there. Mm-hmm. 2015 and years before, they was getting all the paperwork, the legalities, the money ready. Mm-hmm. 2020 is when they dropped the boom, and then the propaganda and stuff started. Because when you first seen it, people was falling out and dying on TV, so-called, right? So then when it got over here, we didn't see people falling out and dying. They had to say asymptomatic and things like that. So here's the same thing. Let me do the paperwork. Then we need to put somebody on the television and propagate this image. So then if we can't get the originals as it goes on, he said he was up there for 30 years.
30 years.
Yeah. So everybody afterwards is a tool of Satan.
Looking for him as an Indian.
Right.
Because like you said, I remember coming out of high school in the 90s, and we're poor, but we're good students, carrying 3.5s and all that stuff. So it's like, y'all going to college. Like, okay, we're going to college. And I'm like, if I don't get no basketball scholarship, I don't know how I'm going to do it, because my brother's already home because he ran out of money. The loans didn't cover it. So me and my friends, we're looking at every Negro College Fund. And then one of my friends said something like, found a scholarship. If you can prove that you're Native American, you can go to school for free. And I was like, we got to get our birth certificate. So like you saying, they changed the laws. If you're Native American, you can get free land, tax-free gas stations.
They get checks from the government too. I know. I used to work with a man, and he was dating a Native, so-called, and they was getting stipends like thousands a month.
So I'm going to make the laws for these air quotes Indians, and now I'm going to give you the pictures of what they look like. Mm-hmm. So here's the laws already on the books, like you're saying, and now I found the Indians.
Mm-hmm. Another way to not pay us back, but make it look like they're so wholesome and humanitarian by quote unquote doing the right thing.
Crafty counsel against the Most High's children.
They literally took their own people,
Italian, a Roman, a Edomite,
and dressed them up and said, okay, we can just use y'all in the place of the original, just like they took the place of the original in the land now.
To maintain the strength of their own nation. Self-preservation.
Self-preservation.
So there won't be no wars and no fighting, no rising up.
Take my claim away from the land. No, you're not the Indians. So that's why, I don't know if y'all are privy to, or some of y'all may come across, Dane Calloway has taken some flack, because sometimes Dane Calloway's research is so deep and he goes off, and on a lot of points he is off. Let me just say that. On a lot of points, Dane Calloway is off, but this video that I clipped this from and Dane Calloway, they both have merit. Not all of us came over here and chattel slavery. Some of our ancestors were here first, and we're going to bring this history out. Some of our ancestors, these are the ancient Israelites. These so-called Indians were Israelites. And remember, family, before we move on and give you the rest of this history, and please take screenshots or whatever you got to do, but we're going to share with you the resources. Just remember, from this point on, let's recap. If you're not a pilgrim, a descendant of the colonizers, you really have nothing to celebrate. It's not for you. And if you're a Christian, there's no biblical authority to keep a feast in the 9th month or the 11th month of the Roman calendar. And thirdly, if you are a human, if all lives matter, You cannot seriously enjoy your Turkey Day knowing that the real people of this United States of America, they were mass slaughtered and replaced by actors. The word Indian comes from an old Italian word Indi, and Indi means black. Indi means black. J.A. Rogers says they had woolly hair. Woolly hair. So let's give you some more witnesses. This first resource is coming from Benjamin Franklin. This first resource is from one of their fathers, Benjamin Franklin. He wrote a paper. He actually had his own book that he was writing in periodicals. This is from the Observations Concerning the Increase of Mankind, Peopling, and Countries, etc. by Benjamin Franklin. This goes back to the 55, I think, printed and sold in Queen Street, 1755. So let's read what Benjamin Franklin says about what he found. Can you read that for us, please?
Which leads me to add one remark, that the number of purely white people in the world is proportionably very small. All Africa is black or tawny. Asia is chiefly tawny.
That's where we come from. That's the so-called Middle East. Asia is an old word for East. He's saying the people of the East, Jerusalem, Assyria, Edom, the people of the East, Turkey, New Rome, they are chiefly tawny, brown skinned.
America, exclusive of the newcomers, wholly also.
Say what?
So. America, exclusive of the newcomers, wholly so.
Benjamin Franklin family, take screenshots, write it down. Benjamin Franklin is saying white people around the world are proportionally small in number. Everywhere we go, we are outnumbered. He says America is chiefly tawny. America, exclusive of us new colonizers, wholly so. America, except us colonizers, is all black. That's what he just said. Benjamin Franklin recorded this in the 1700s. America, exclusive of us newcomers, us invaders, us rapers, us thieves, this whole continent is black. Can you read that again, Op?
The number of purely white people in the world is proportionably very small. All Africa is black or tawny. Asia, chiefly tawny. America, exclusive of the newcomers, is wholly so. And in Europe, the Spaniards, Italians, French, Russians, Swedes are generally of what we call a swarthy complexion.
Now, this is how they're going to spin this, family. You got to pay attention to these so-called scholars. They're going to say, yeah, what they mean by swarthy, oh, they separated people by their hair color. So if you are black hair or brunette, that's swarthy. And if you're a blonde, come on, you can't fall for the banana in the tailpipe. All around the world, family, Italia, ancient Rome is black people. Ancient France is black people. France in the Bible is known as Gaul. What New Testament letter is written to the nation, the country Gaul? Galatians. The ancient city of Gaul or Galatians was black people, and black Jews were there. That's who Paul was writing to. Russia is black. What research or what how can I say this? What circumstantial evidence will lead us to believe that ancient Russia was black?
The
Go ahead.
Russian artifacts.
There you go.
Paintings.
The Russian icons.
Yeah.
The Russian icons are on sale. Y'all send me a check. I get them for us. The Russian icons are selling for like $10,000. And the Russian icons, if you haven't Googled it, the Russian icons are original paintings of Christ and the apostles, and they're all black. And Russia kept them that way until the Renaissance. So until that racism popped up in the 1600s, Russia was black and they had no problems with a black Messiah. They had no problems with a black Paul or a black Peter. The whole world knew the world was black. So the whole world as a whole are dark people. But the takeaway here, family, Benjamin Franklin, one of the founding fathers, says, America, except for the newcomers, is all black. America, except for the newcomers, is all black. Let's read on. Let's finish this up.
All right. The Germans also, the Saxons only accepted, who with the English make the principal body of white people on the face of the earth. I could wish their numbers were increased. And while we are, as I may call it, scouring our planet by clearing America of woods, and so making this side of our globe reflect a brighter light to the eyes of the inhabitants in Mars or Venus.
We're making America more white.
Why should we, in the sight of superior beings, darken its people? Why increase the sons of Africa by planting them in America, where we have so fair an opportunity by excluding all blacks and tawnies of increasing the lovely white and red? But perhaps I am partial to the complexion of my country, for such kind of partiality is natural to mankind.
It's natural to protect your own, except when it comes to us. We're the only group of people who don't protect their own. Benjamin Franklin says, listen, I want to keep America for my people who look like me. Don't bring those black African slaves here. We don't need them. That's what Benjamin Franklin is saying. We don't need the slaves here. Stop bringing all these sons of Africa here. This is for us. We don't need it here.
Read Obadiah verse 1 and 2. And just 1 and 2.
The vision of Obadiah. Thus saith Yahweh Elohim concerning Edom. We have heard a rumor from Yahweh, and an ambassador is sent among the heathen. Arise ye, and let us rise up against her in battle. Behold, I have made thee small among the heathen.
Read it again.
Behold, I have made thee small among the heathen. Thou art greatly despised.
That number of purely white people in the world is proportionably very small.
So,
and we know that Esau, he was black,
right? Esau mixed his blood. So once Esau mixed his blood, his descendants or his bloodline became diluted over the while. That's what we're trying to walk y'all down slow. When we tell you Esau is wrong, it's not what it seems to be. Esau originally was dark as us, but he started mingling and mixing with other nations. And once he stopped mating or marrying dark women, Esau's whole line is now whited out. So that's how we know Rome is Esau. But what Ak is bringing out, Benjamin Franklin is testifying in the 1600s that the whole world is mostly dark people, especially America, except for us invaders. So that means the real Indians that they met here were black people. That's what we're bringing out, family. The people that they met here was not Iron Eyes Cody. The people they met here would look like you and I, and they were children of Israel.
Which is what swarthy and tawny mean. They both mean dark, black folk.
Let's get another witness. And all these sources, family, they're available online free of charge as PDFs. Just Google the titles and put PDF behind it, and you're going to start finding links. I don't have time to go back and get the actual live links. I've already downloaded them as PDFs. But all you got to do is take these titles, put them in a Google search, and just put PDF at the end. And these PDF books will pop up free of charge. This next one is a treatise of physical geography comprising hydrology, geonosy, geology, meteorology, botany, zoology, and anthropology by A. Barrington. And this goes back, is the year on here? I think this is going back to the 1700s. This is going back to the 1700s, I believe. But this book is also available on Google Books or any Google search. Let's see what he says here, Op. With respect.
I was laughing real quick. With respect to intermixture with the Indians, we know as a matter of fact that it never took place. The Aborigines of America are another instance. They are all unquestionably of one race.
One race.
And yet, as we move from around the lake southward, they become darker and darker till the plains of Orinoco and the Amazon, they are nearly black.
Oh, as we move around this continent, America, the Indians are blacker and blacker. Where you get Iron Eyes Cody from? Read on.
While on the cool and humid shores of the Pacific, they are found fairer than many Europeans, and their cheeks frequently display the ruddy hue common among white men.
So if you get away from the southern region where it's hotter and you go towards the cooler air, they will lose some of their melanin, but they're still, that's the thing they try to trick you with. Just because we're light skinned, you still gonna know that he's a Hebrew. You know it's by his hair texture. So you can't give me Iron Eyes Cody with straight hair and tell me he's an Indian. No, even when we have lighter skinned folk, there's research that even in Africa, even in Jerusalem, we came in all shades. How do we know this? What proof do we have?
David was ruddy.
David was called ruddy. Ruddy means brown skin, reddish brown. But then when we get to the New Testament, wasn't one of our ancestors called Simon the Niger? That let you know we come in all shapes. Even in Africa, not all of us are dark or like me or blue-black. We got different shades even in Africa. So just because you find a lighter Indian,
shades, right? I was just about to
say we got 3 shades right here.
I was just about to say that when we.
Well, I'm gonna ask you today, but so just because you find a lighter, fair-skinned Indian, he's still going to have Hebrew or Israelite phenomes, coil woolly hair, because that's what J.A. Rogers said Indy means. Indy means dark with woolly hair. So you can't fall for the banana in the tailpipe, people. America was populated by dark Indians, aka Hebrews, and we got the proof tonight. Read on out.
On the elevated mountain and tablelands of South America, the hue is much lighter than in the plains or the countryside. We are well aware that it has been repeatedly stated the American Indians are all of one hue.
I want y'all to keep this in mind as we bring this information out, family. We got ancient records, or not even ancient, but pre-racism, before racism exploded in the 1700s. That's when these people are writing. These books are coming from the 1600s, and racism is not even a baby yet. So they're telling the truth. The American Indians are dark people. They are what you would call black. They're telling the truth. That's another witness. Let's get another witness. I'm sorry, this is the same book. It's just chapter 3, and this is about to go into the antiquity of America. Can y'all see that?
Come on. Antiquity of America. America was first settled by the Israelites.
By who?
Wow.
The Israelites.
Who?
America was first settled by the Israelites.
Go ahead.
Wow. Indians who came out of Egypt. The View of the Hebrews by Ethan Smith. America was discovered by Columbus in 1492.
Lies.
And was peopled by colonies in 1620 AD from Europe. The first settlement in England, New England, was made at Plymouth in the midst of a fertile country. The Egyptians were an Ethiopian people. According to these authors and scriptures of truth, the natives of America are the Israelites, the Jews, and as they are oppressed and driven from the land,
A woe?
A woe, a curse will follow, and who of us can stand?
So these ancient writers, family, I don't know about y'all, this just get me so excited, our Father's word is true, our Hebrew scrolls are true, and these first generation of colonizers are telling the truth. America, we found the Israelites, and you got to keep in mind what we brought out. The other sources says the Indians of America are dark. This source is saying these Indians are Israelites and they're dark. This is our Father. This gets me excited. Our Father's word is true. So to celebrate Thanksgiving, you're celebrating the mass murder of the children of Israel. If you are a Black, so-called a Negro, so-called Hispanic, these are our ancestors that you're eating this turkey on. He told you the cranberry sauce is a metaphor for the blood they shed. So you're eating cranberry sauce in honor of your ancestors' blood that was spilled in this land. They're making fun of you and got you spending money going broke doing it. They're laughing at us to our face. They know our ancestors was here. They know we are the descendants of the Israelites. Me and my wife both have, air quotes, Indians on our tree. My wife's great-grandmother, her cheekbones is high like the natives. She had a French braid. It's so long, it said it went down to the floor. I got Indians on both sides. Not all of our ancestors came on those slave ships. Some of our ancestors was already here. So let's get into it, family. Let's bring you the proof that you need. You could download this too, also as a PDF. This book is View of the Hebrews or the Tribes of Israel in America. The View of the Hebrews or the Tribes of Israel in America, and it's written by a man named Ethan Smith. Ethan Smith was a preacher. Ethan Smith was a Catholic priest. So when he seen these people, these dark Indians, and he started to talk to them through an interpreter, he started asking them, wait a minute, why are they doing that? That's like the Jews in the Old Testament. How are these people way across the Atlantic knowing how to do that? These are first-hand accounts telling you the truth. This is not the Black man science. This is not a Black man telling you this. These are white Europeans saying we talk to these people, and these people are the children of Israel. Let's get into it. Let me bring this down. Let me stop this share. I got a hard copy here in the buyout, but you can download this. We're just going to use the digital copy for the sake of time. Did it close out? This stuff gets me excited, it gets me mad. I'll be up and down with this information, y'all. So we're going to open up the PDF of this View of the Hebrews, but it's also because no one's buying these books. You can find it online very, very cheap because no one wants them because they have no value. But to us, they're golden. I know I could do what you taught me.
There's also a copy in PDF.
Where's the PDF at? Oh,
right there.
Water bottle. So I wonder. Sometimes these PDFs don't play right. We're gonna see what happens. Let me see. What do we got? So I already got this marked up. Let me do a new share. I got highlights on this one already, and we're just going to go through this document, and we're going to give you enough witnesses to prove to you that the so-called Indians of America are Hebrew Israelites from the Northern Kingdom. And when you celebrate Christmas, I mean, SELAH, that's coming up next. When you celebrate Thanksgiving, you're celebrating the slaughter of the children of Israel who we descend from. Let me know when it's sharing.
It's sharing.
All right, so we're just going to run through some of my highlights here. And so this is, he opens his book. Ethan Smith opens his book with testimonials of some of the pastors who read his book, right? So let's start with this one here. This is one from, can you start here?
Extracts of a letter from the Reverend Jabez B. Hyde of Eden.
Erie County.
This is Erie County, New York, February 4th, 1825. I have been in the sentiment of your book that the natives of our country are the outcast of Israel.
Wow.
It cannot well be doubted by anyone who has become acquainted with the religious ceremonies of the Indians, but that they have a manifest shadow of the Mosaic rituals.
What are these Indians doing knowing the rituals of Moses? How are these people way across the Atlantic imitating the children of Israel? Read on.
Most of the particulars you have mentioned in your book, I know to be facts.
I know to be fact. This Reverend Hyde of New York has met the Indians himself. This ain't no hearsay. He's telling this Ethan Smith, I read your book and I could bear witness because I met the Indians and I watched them at their festivals. Read on.
He said, and these were observed by the Seneca Indians.
Anybody from Seneca, New York? That's what they're talking about, Seneca, New York.
It might be Kyrie people.
Huh.
When I first came among them, the chiefs invited me to all their celebrations. For some time, when I could make it convenient, I attended in hopes of obtaining information concerning their ceremonies. All the information I could obtain from their interpreter was that all related to the things their fathers taught them years ago. So our fathers worshiped the Great Spirit. This was all the account they could give.
They had been lost their identity. They didn't know they were Israelites. That's how long they were over here, family. They were over here so much longer than any European. They no longer knew that they came from Jerusalem. All they know now in the 1600s, my father's fathers told us to do this. We don't know what it means. We don't know why we're doing it. We're doing it out of tradition. Read on.
After I read Dr. Boudinot's Star in the West, I again attended their religious ceremonies to see if I could discern what he had represented. In 1818, a general religious excitement commenced among the Senecas. They attempted to understand and reform their old religious rites rather than receive Christianity.
So the colonizers are showing them a Bible, a Christian Bible, and the colonizers through interpreters are trying to say, see, this here. And it was like, nah, we ain't gonna rock with that. We're gonna go back to our father's way of living. We're sticking to the Torah. Read on.
This brought together their wise men who were best acquainted with their mysteries. They spent much time to investigate their religion, its origin, what it taught, and what it would avail. They found themselves involved in darkness.
So even the ancients at the time in the 1600s, like, we don't know why we're doing this. Our fathers told us to do this. What did the Torah says? Teach your sons' sons and your sons' sons. That's what the Israelites are doing. These so-called Indians. Now these white people are showing up. I don't mean to be crass, but these invaders are showing up. It's like, wait a minute, we got a Christian Bible here, and y'all doing stuff that the Jews are doing that Moses taught them. How do y'all know these things? And they're telling them, we don't know. This is all we know to do. Read on.
Of the meaning of the words they used in their dances and divine songs, they were wholly ignorant.
We don't know why we're saying this stuff.
They used the words Yahu, Ewa, and Hallelujah, as Dr. Budina has represented from other Indians.
So I grew up in the 80s and my grandparents used to babysit us, and my grandfather loved Westerns, John Wayne and all that stuff. And you know, they were killing the Indians. And they would have the Indians dancing, hey, ya, hey, ya, hey, ya, ho, hey, ya, hey, ya, hey, ya, ho. But these are foreigners trying to reproduce the sounds that they process. But these dark Indians, these woolly-haired Indians was not saying, hey, ya, ho. They were saying, Yahweh. They were dancing, praising Yahweh, family. Let's go to the next one, because we got a lot more.
And
even
they're
if they're
confessing it.
Even if they were saying Haya, like instead of saying like Hey ya or whatever, it's just saying behold, behold Yahweh.
But all of them didn't save. Well, we're gonna make it through it. We're gonna get through. All of them didn't save. So this is the copies. I should have put the other disc. All right, we're gonna make it work. What is this right here? I'm just gonna scroll through. We ain't gonna read all of this.
Dang, I seen something about Tartary in there.
Yeah, we're gonna read all. Let me just scroll through for the sake of time. We're gonna hit the highlights just to show you that the so-called Indians are children of Israel. When you celebrate Thanksgiving, you're celebrating the killing of the Most High's people, our descendants.
That thing saying Judah, their captivity.
So he's
the
giving
covenant.
He's going through the history showing that it's possible these people are the scattered Jews. So he just going over the prophecy. They're putting together the Old Testament saying, look, these people don't know who they are. They don't know why they're doing this stuff. And the prophecy said this. So they're putting together, they're trying to help the Indians. Like, look, the reason why you're doing that is because you're in this book. So they're trying to help our ancestors say, you don't know why you're saying that, but the Jews got a God, his name is Yahweh. They're trying to help the Indians put together their history.
And if you know that there were pretty much righteous strangers trying to aid Israel back then, you know where there were unrighteous people who knew that same book, just like they do now. They know this book and intentionally scatter the flock.
So let's pick it up here. He's about to run down how they're going to put their research together to teach people or to prove that these people are Indian or Israelites. From various authors.
From various authors, travelers among the Indians, the fact that the American Indians are the 10 tribes of Israel will be attempted to be proved by the following arguments. The American natives have one origin. Their language appears to be Hebrew. They have their imitation of the Ark of the Covenant in ancient Israel. They have been in practice of circumcision.
Circumcision at this time is still taboo. It's the 1600s, and the whole world, their pharmakia system ain't set up yet. So when they come across people who are circumcising males, it's like, where did you get that from? So the Europeans are like, these dark Indians with woolly hair, they got an imitation of the Ark of the Covenant over here. They're circumcising their boys. I ain't gonna spoil it for y'all. Let's read on.
They have acknowledged one and only one God.
Now this is big too. This is why you got to know history. This monotheism is new to these people because these are Romans and Greeks, and they come from a pantheism. They got gods for everything. So when you meet someone who's monotheistic, it's a big deal. Like, only the Jews was monotheistic. Everybody else around us had many gods, but us Israelites, we had one God. So when I meet someone, you got an Ark of a Covenant, like some kind of imitation of it. You doing Mosaic customs, and you believing in this one invisible God. Like, hey, wait a minute, something. These people are children of Israel. Read on.
The celebrated William Penn gives an account of the natives of Pennsylvania, which go on to corroborate the same point. The Indians have having one tribe answering in various respects to the tribe of Levi.
Tribe of who?
Tribe of Levi.
Can you read that again?
The Indians having one tribe answering in various respects to the tribe of Levi sheds further light on the subject.
So the Indians, they're coming across in North America, Middle America, and South America. They're saying we're the tribe of Levi. But there's multiple. By this time, remember, that's why we got to learn our history. This is the 1600s of the Roman period. We left Israel, the Northern Kingdom left in the Book of Kings. So by the 1600s of the Roman Empire, there's Israelites all over this land. They haven't even made it to California yet. But the ones they're running into says, we are the tribe of Levi. That's what it's saying. Read on.
All right.
Number 8.
Several prophetic traits of character given to the Hebrews do accurately apply to the Aborigines of America. The Indians being in tribes with their heads and names of tribes afford further light. Their having some things answering to the ancient cities of refuge seems to evince their Israelitish extraction.
So a city of refuge is I killed someone by accident. So it's not necessarily murder. Me and Nariah got into it and me and him was fighting and I didn't mean to, but I killed Nariah. Well, in the Old Testament, in the law, we had cities of refuge set up around the 12 tribes of Israel. And those cities, you would run to that city and go to the priest and you would stay in the temple with the priest telling him, listen, I killed the man in the next town over by accident. Now his brothers and uncles want to kill my life. So that priest would be his refuge. He got to stay with that priest until that priest dies, and then he can go back to his own. So these Indians over here in America, they have a city of refuge. How do they know to do these things? That's what these Europeans are saying. How do these Indians know to have cities of refuge like the Israelite people? Read on.
Their variety of traditions, historical and religious, do wonderfully accord with the idea that they descended from the ancient 10 tribes.
So this is how they putting this together. These Europeans are putting these things together. These people are firsthand witnesses of the Indians, dark Indians, practicing things in the Old Testament that Moses gave us. And they're saying, how do these people know? And when we talk to them, they don't know why they're doing it. But these Europeans have the Bible now, and they're saying, y'all are doing this because y'all are the scattered Israelites in the scriptures. And the Most High said he was going to scatter y'all in prophecies, but he's giving them good news is in eschatology, the Most High says he's going to come redeem y'all. That's what they're trying to tell the Indians, family. That's what they're trying to tell the Indians. Let's get y'all some more.
What do they think about the other two tribes, so-called, that wasn't quote unquote lost then at this time, with them writing in that aspect saying you are from the 10 tribes of Israel?
That's a good question.
Well, that's when we hug Benaiah's neck, because Benaiah, Israel's research connects that part. Y'all knew the other tribe are on the slave ships. They knew there was Judah on the slave ships. So they found the 10 tribes, and now they got Judah coming on the slave ships. They knew. Family, that's why I posted that scripture today. The Masoretic King James Bible is full of errors and abominations, and it helps just further Christianity. The Most High is not upset with the world for any sins. The world don't know about sins. The Most High is going to punish them because y'all had concrete witnesses that those were the children of Israel, those were my people, and y'all didn't respect me to respect my people. So that's why he's about to kill these people. Not because they're sinners. No. Y'all knew y'all had the children of Israel. The native Indians were the children of Israel, and Judah, y'all put in ships. Y'all knew this. Y'all had the records, and my people were telling you. So the fact that y'all disregarded them as trash and lied to them and took their land or took their identity, the Most High is going to rain down fire upon these people, and they don't have an excuse to say they don't know. That's why I'm telling y'all, Put on your garments. Tell people to call you by your name. Don't call me by no Christian English name. Call me Abad Yah. I'm a servant of Yah. I'm a children of Israel. So when when Messiah comes, they can't say, oh, I didn't know he was your people. You knew who I was. That's why you tell people who you are. So let's read this part right here. Duprates, just do your best. You know we don't care about these people's names.
Duprates says,
let me make this bigger. Oh shoot, I lost it. All right.
Duprates says in his history of Louisiana, the nations of North America derive their origin from the same country, since at bottom they all have the same manners, usages, and the same manner of speaking and thinking. It is ascertained that no objection arises against this from the different shades of this complexion found among the tribes of Indians.
So the Indians have different shades of complexion. Iron-eyed Cody is pasty pale. So how you gonna keep feeding me Iron-eyed Cody every year in school telling me he's an Indian? Read on.
The color of the Indians generally, says Dr. Budinat, is red, brown, copper, according to the climate and the high or low ground.
What's the color of the Indians?
Red, brown, or copper.
What's the word King Dawah was described as?
Ruddy.
Reddish brown, copper. Redskins. So the real Indians are being described how the ancient Israelites, King David in the Bible is being described. So when you celebrate Thanksgiving, family, you're celebrating the mass genocide of our ancestors. And whether you be a dark-skinned person or not, if you love humanity, how can you with a clear conscience tell people happy Thanksgiving? How can you, knowing what happened to the original people of this earth? Read that again. We're going to move on. The color.
The color of the Indians generally, says Dr. Budinat, is red, brown, or copper, according to the climate and the high or low ground. Mr. Adair expresses the same opinion, and the Indians have their tradition that in the nation from which they originally came, all were one color.
So this man-made doctrines that the Indians are telling you, where we come from, we all are one color. But remember, they left Jerusalem in the book of Kings. These Indians, SELAH, these Israelites we're reading about, family, they didn't see Babylon come take Judah. They didn't see Purim, the Feast of Purim. They know nothing about this history. They were going in the book of Kings. These are the descendants of the people who left in the book of Kings. These are copper, red, brown people, family. Like us. The children of Israel have been over here way before the Europeans. Thanksgiving is celebrating their genocide. Let's go on and get something else. So we got the color, right? So let's go to the table of words, family. We got their descriptions, we got their customs. Let's go to their words. And I could just read a few of them, then we're gonna move on.
You got English, Jehovah, Indian, Yahweh or Yahovah, God, and they call them all or El, Jab or Job, Yah or Wah. The heavens, they got the Shemayim or, Kamim. Father, Abba, word for word. Man, Ish or Ash, and Ishte. Woman, Ishto. Wife, Awa. Let me see another one. Canaan, Kanai.
These are too many similarities. Let's go to Russian wind. Russian wind here.
Russian wind, Rowa, like Rewak or spirit.
They say Ruach today.
Yeah. Ararat, like Mount Ararat, where the ark landed, is the same word, Ararat.
That's all we need. They're finding their languages too. It's not a coincidence that their language is identical almost to the ancient Hebrew language, family. That's what they're bringing out. Very hot. Hebrew, hurrah, hallah, hurrah, hurrah. Praise to the first cause. Hallelujah, hallelujah. There's too many coincidences, family. The Native Americans are Israelites. When you celebrate Thanksgiving, you're celebrating the murder of our own people. Let me see what else we need here. I want to be the dead horse.
No more in remembrance. Cut
they,
them off. So they no
got
more
them boys out of here.
They got punished just like we did for breaking the law. They thought it was going to be safe over here, and the Most High sent the Europeans.
And these curses shall pursue thee and overtake thee till thou
really
beest destroyed.
It really is a remnant, only a remnant of them.
Oh, here we go. Like, y'all been to Philly before, Pennsylvania before?
Nah.
Been to Pennsylvania, but not Philly.
So y'all know Pennsylvania is named after one of the colonizers, William Penn. William Penn says the one in his area, he's going to describe them. Let's read number 6.
The celebrated William Penn gives an account of the natives of Pennsylvania, which go on to corroborate the same point. Mr. Penn saw that the Indians of Pennsylvania, before they had been affected with the rude treatment of the white people. And in a letter to a friend in England, he thus writes of those natives: I found them with the like countenance with the Hebrew race.
What race?
The Hebrew race.
So you notice here, family, this is when you got to be Bereans and put things in context. He says they received harsh treatment from the white people. Well, if they're saying that they receive harsh treatment from the white people, these Indians can't be white. Then he says they are the like continents. They are of the same appearance of the Hebrew race. I want y'all to keep that in mind. William Penn, the namesake for Pennsylvania, says the Indians are the same continents with the Hebrew race. Read on, and their children.
And their children of so lively a resemblance to them that a man would think himself in Duke's Place or Berry Street in London when he sees them.
Wait a minute, read that again.
I found them with the like countenance with the Hebrew race, and their children of so lively a resemblance to them that a man would think himself in Duke's Place or Berry Street in London when he sees them.
He says their children looks like them, and they remind us of being back in London.
So what does that tell you?
We were in Europe. We were all over the place. You can't look at our names because we got Spanish names and English names. Oh, he's a white person. No, us Jews, according to the curses of Deuteronomy, the Most High scattered us all over. These people are testifying. Black Israelites, black Jews were in London. That's what he's testifying, family.
It's the Dark Ages.
Oh, keep going. It gets better. Yeah, we found a good one here.
Here without the least previous idea of those natives being Israelites, that shrewd man was struck with their being Israelites, that shrewd man was struck with their perfect resemblance of them. And with other things which will be noted, he speaks of their dress and trinkets as notable, like those of ancient Israel. Their earrings, nose jewels, bracelets on their arms and legs, rings such as they were on their fingers, necklaces made of polished shells found in their rivers, and on their coats, bands, shells, feathers ornamenting the heads of females, and various strings of beads adorning several parts of the body.
Headbands around the females' heads. So witness to what you brought out with the head coverings. We don't cover our whole head. We always had headbands on. So these Israelites over here in America are blinking out shells and stones on the shores, making headbands on them, family. He says there's too many coincidences, right? Let's go into Mr. Penn.
Mr. Penn adds to his friend that he considered this people as under a dark night, yet they believed in God and immortality without the help of metaphysics. For he says they informed him that there was a great king who made them, Yahushua, that the souls of the good shall go to him. He adds, their worship consists in two parts, sacrifice and cantillo, songs. The first is with their first fruits, and the first buck they kill goes to the fire. Mr. Penn proceeds to describe their splendid feast of the first fruits, one of which he attended. He informs all that go to this feast must take a piece of money, which is made of bone and fish. None shall appear before me empty.
So William Penn, who Pennsylvania is named after, he's not telling you what he heard.
You need to highlight that.
He went there. He went to the feast, and he says these people are coming and they're bringing something. They're bringing first fruits, and he referenced the Torah law. There's 3 feasts we got. All your males should appear before me, and nobody come empty-handed. How are these Indians over in America knowing about this? But they have no Bible. You want me to believe this is a coincidence? Their speech, their manners, and their style, their bling, their swag is all of the ancient Israelites. But you're going to give me Iron Eyes Cody. The curses are real, family. We're bringing this out to show you when you celebrate Thanksgiving, you're celebrating the slaughter of our own people. But for our family or our friends who are not Israelites, you are human. Why would you celebrate and commemorate the slaughter of human beings if all lives matter? If all lives matter, why would you mock the Indians, the native, the Israelites who were over here first, and they helped the pilgrims make it through the winter? And this is how you celebrate them?
So you know how the Most High said he will enlarge Yafet in this tents of Shem?
Come.
The Most High made sure he covered all bases by getting some of the we believe the northern tribes, right? And putting those $5 Indians in their stead, and they get all their not inheritance, but they get all the money and payback for stealing the land and stuff that the colonizers did. And then we have Ashkenazi in the stead of the Southern Kingdom. So the Most High covered the basis of enlarging them over the tents of Shem from both angles, as far as all 12 getting a part of that curse.
Calm. No one, when the Most High says, I'm going to curse you when you break my law, he means that. And these northern Israelites, they long forgot they were Israelites. And these Europeans that the Most High sent is telling them, look, I got your scriptures here. I got your records here. And this is why you're doing what you're doing. But what we're bringing out, the curses are upon them too. Now let's read why we read Sirach 12 and 10, trust not thy enemy, right? Can you read the next paragraph? Dr. Williams.
Dr. Williams, in his history of Vermont on this trait of Indian character, says no sooner had the Indians tasted of the spirituous liquors brought by the Europeans than they contracted a new appetite, which they were wholly unable to govern. The old and the young, the Sakum, the warrior and the woman, whenever they can, obtain liquors, indulge themselves without moderation, without decency, till universal drunkenness takes place. All the tribes appear to be under the dominion of this appetite and unable to govern it.
You see what happens when you accept gifts Ain't nothing wrong. This is to help you out. This is gonna make you feel good.
Mm-hmm.
Our ancestors accepted this from the Europeans, got hooked on alcohol. Now y'all ain't living by no laws. At first you was trying to keep the law. Now you got this liquor, lawlessness. Trust not thy enemy. So this book, family, is full of history. I recommend everyone gets this. Let me see, we got something. We talked about this. They got an imitation of the ancient city of refuge. They have too many similarities of the Israelites, of the Jews of the Bible, not to be the children of Israel. I think that's all I want to bring out. We got their description being copper, being dark. Oh, we're going to end right here. This is the nail in the coffin. This is the nail in the coffin. Let's end it right here. All right, can you see that? The middle point?
The middle point of the thigh of their game, Dr. Betty informs the Indians refused to eat. Thus did ancient Israel after the angel had touched the hollow of Jacob's thigh in the sinew that shrank. In short, says Dr. Betty, I was astonished to find so many of the Jewish customs prevailing among them and began to conclude there was some affirmity between them and the Jews. Colonel Smith, in his History of New Jersey, says of another region of Indians, they never eat the hollow of the thigh of anything they kill.
Charlevoix, whoever?
Charlevoix, speaking of the Indians, still further to the north, says he met people who could not help thinking that the Indians descended from the Hebrews and found in everything some affinity between them.
So family, these are first hand accounts of people who met the true Indians in this land. They met the true Indians, and these people are being honest and saying, these people were dark skinned, red, copper, and yes, they get lighter when they move away from the south. When they in cooler climates, yeah, their melanin eases up a little bit. They got lighter melanin, they're light skinned, but you still know their nose, their lips, their woolly hair. You know they still come from the same family. These people are telling you the first inhabitants of America were the children of Israel, the northern kingdom of Israel, family. So when you celebrate Thanksgiving, you're celebrating the slaughter of our people, the Israelites. Let's go back to the presentation and wrap this up. It blows my mind how dead on the Most High. That's why I'm telling y'all, when these people come with these prophecies and these prophecies don't come true, they will be killed. The Most High's prophecies are exact. It's not roundabout. It's not maybe. It's exact. And the Most High's prophecy came true with the children of Israel over here in America. So that's the view of the Hebrews or the tribes of Israel in America. They want you to have these pictures, images of iron-eyed Codys and these horsehair people and thinking they're the Indians, and they don't want you to know that these Indians are your ancestors. Some of your ancestors who came on the slave ships married these people because they were the same people. Oh, y'all don't like pork? We neither. Or y'all don't eat the ligaments, the sinews? We don't either. How are these so-called Africans coming from West Africa hooking up with these so-called Indians, and neither one of y'all eat pork, neither one of y'all eat the ligaments, and y'all can't be, it's just a coincidence? This is the history they don't teach us in school, family. Let's get another witness. We brought this out in Shabbat. This is from The Negro in the New World, page 213. Is the screen sharing out? Mm-hmm. Where's it at? Any Negro?
Any Negro or slave offering any violence to a Christian by striking or the like is to be severely whipped by the constable, and for his second offense of that nature, not only to be severely whipped and burnt in some part of his face with a hot iron, but to have his nose slit, unless, of course, such striking of a Christian be in the lawful defense of a master or mistress or of their goods.
So if any Negro strikes a Christian, beats up a Christian, he could be punished by having his face burnt, cut, scarred up. This lets you know, family, that when we first got here, most of us got here because we refused to accept Christianity. This whole document brings out, you could download this too, Negro in the New World. These Negroes in the New World, these are the Jews from Portugal and Spain who refused to accept Christianity. They were sent to the New World as slaves. So this record right here is letting you know that us so-called Negroes, we never accepted Christianity. We always practiced the faith, air quotes, religion of our forefathers. Read on, it gets better.
The act refers to the many heinous and grievous crimes such as murders, burglaries, highway robbery, rape, incendiarism, committed many times by Negroes and other slaves, as well as their stealing, killing, or maiming horses, mares, gelding cattle, or sheep. The owner of any slave executed judicially for his crimes is to be compensated by the state for the loss of the slave, which value shall never exceed the sum of 25 sterling.
Mm-hmm.
No person of the Hebrew nation was allowed to keep or employ more than one Negro or other slave.
What you say out?
Not one person of the Hebrew nation was allowed to keep or employ more than one Negro or other slave.
No, nobody from the Hebrew nation could have more than one Negro slave. I was watching Django the other night, about to go to bed, and I just said, I love Django, that's my hero. So I turned Django on, right? And it got to that scene with Big Daddy house. Y'all remember that scene?
I've never seen that movie.
Mhm.
Big Daddy had a whole plantation of slaves.
Mhm.
So according to this law, anybody from the Hebrew nation, you can't have more than one slave. So people who look like Big Daddy, who was played by Don Johnson, they can't be of the Hebrew nation, right or wrong.
Right.
Then when you get to the end of the movie and they get to Leonardo DiCaprio plantation, Leonardo DiCaprio, he's like the third generation of slave owners. He has a whole plantation. According to this law, if you're of the Hebrew nation, you can't have more than one slave. So according to their own laws, if you are a Hebrew nation, you can have only one slave. So the slave owners over here can't be of the Hebrew nation.
Mm-hmm.
Why don't they want people from the Hebrew nation owning more than one slave?
Because they don't want them to buy their brothers and sisters out of slavery, take them away from them, and also possibility for them to get together and rise up or flee.
This text is telling you, brothers and sisters, that the ancient world knows that Hebrew nation are black people.
Mm-hmm.
So if the Hebrew nation are black people, the Israelites are black people, the Jews are black people. The Indians of this land are black people, they are Israelites. When you celebrate Thanksgiving, family, you're celebrating the mass genocide of our ancestors in the Bible. So let's wrap this up with the true pictures of our ancestors. These are the images they never showed us in school. This is why their schools are garbage. Their schools are full of garbage. These are the original Indians that they met when they landed over here. And you see they are melanated. Watch this. Melanated. These are the images they don't want you to see, family. So can you read that right? And I know it's kind of small underneath that one in the bottom right corner, the Yamasee.
This is a friend of mine from college. She looked just like her.
Come. Wow. Wow. Can you see that description up? The Yamasee?
The Yamasee Indians, also referred to as the Imago Africana or Africancan, or the Americario, were listed among the 19 tribes as being dark complexion, found widely scattered among the inhabitants of North and South America. They were assumed to be immigrants from Africa prior to the European discovery of America.
Before the Europeans even knew about this place.
Whom Lucius Vasquez persisted in slave hunting in Beaufort, South Carolina in 1520.
This Lucas Vasquez started slave hunting the Black Indians. That's why we're telling you, and Dane Calloway and the brother's video that I clipped, he brings it out too. The slave numbers are too huge, and the slave numbers increase at a rate too fast for the slave ships, because the slave ships, I think the voyage was 6 months or 3 months. The Middle Passage?
I'm not sure.
The middle, depending on the weather, the fastest they can get from Africa was 3 months. And during those 3 months of being at sea, many of our elders, our ancestors died from all kinds of diseases, being around the Europeans, starvation, and some committed suicide and jumped off the boat. So when you do the numbers of how the slaves just expanded, it doesn't add up with the slave voyages. So Dane Calloway, he takes it too far and says that, you know, they told us everything in reverse. We never can find a happy medium, fam. We find one too far left, one too far right. But there's some truth to what Dane Calloway and the other brothers bringing out. These Europeans started hunting the Indians first, the Black Indians. And then when Judah came on the slave ships, we would run and hide amongst these Indians. How can we hide amongst the Indians if they look like Iron Eye Cody?
Okay.
You know what I mean? So that's why I said we got four categories of Israelites here. You got the ancient Israelites who were called Indians. Then you got us so-called Negroes coming on the slave ships. And then you got the so-called Negroes coming on the slave ships, mating with or marrying the original dark Indians, having children. And now you got a Northern Kingdom and a Southern Kingdom Israelite being born over here in America. And then you got the ones in South America who didn't, because remember, I skipped a lot of history for the sake of time. This Northern America was the last to be found. They were in South America, Brazil, for like 100-something years before they found Florida. So the Indians in South America, known as Puerto Ricans, Brazilians, Peruvians, they were being slaughtered and raped and maimed down there before they even knew about Northern America. These are the Indians that became slaves before Judah came on the slave ships. The only reason they brought us here is because they had almost decimated the Indians. So by the time 1492, when Spain said, oh, you Black Jews don't want to convert to Christianity, you Black Jews got to get out of here. So the Spaniards and the Portuguese said, well, hey, that's perfect. Y'all kicking the Jews out, and we need some laborers because we done killed the Indians over here. So boom, put Judah on the slave ships and send them to the New World. That's when you got more Israelites in the New World, family. Here's more Indians, Black Indians I never told you about. It says she's a Blackfoot Indian. And wouldn't it make sense that a Blackfoot would be Black? Mm-hmm. But they give you Iron Eyes Cody. This is the history they don't want us to know. Psalms 83:3, is it? They're confederate against us, family. They hate the Most High and his people. Edom, Rome, all of them, they hate us. They don't want us knowing the truth, coming back to our heritage. So brothers and sisters, I beg you with love, when you celebrating Thanksgiving, think about what you're doing. researching what you're doing. Why you got cranberry sauce on it? None of us black people eat cranberry sauce. Y'all eat it?
I eat it.
I
now.
do.
Oh, I'm sorry.
I do now.
I eat it.
I'm sorry.
I don't eat it.
Mix it with some of the shoot. I ain't had that stuff in so long though. I done forgot.
I never liked cranberry
Yeah,
sauce.
I liked it though. I liked it. Yeah, with some of that stuff.
When I was young, I didn't eat it, but recently,
turkey gravy stuffing it with that cranberry and then some mac. Yeah.
Oh no, I never liked that cranberry. But now you know, family, that cranberry sauce is representing the blood of our ancestors. They're mocking us, family. They're eating theirs. You know how you get that victory, like after the championship, you go to pizza, get some pizza.
It's the. I mean, you seen Game of Thrones or any war conquering shows and movies. You gon' or Viking, anything like that. When they come in the building. They got the long table with the food laid all the way across the table, and they celebrating their geese and the turkeys and the ducks and all the other pig. They was eating that too. Yeah, like that's where the ham probably come from.
That's what Jehu did. He threw when Jezebel got thrown out the window. He ate up there with the after they threw her out the window.
This is the history they don't tell us,
We
man.
didn't have all that unclean stuff, I'm sure.
And another context clue that she knows she's an Israelite or Salaki, she might not know by now that she probably had been lost her roots. But you see her necklace, her headgear. This is part of the curse. You daughters of Zion, y'all walk with haughty necks. Y'all remember that? Y'all walk with haughty necks. That's what they were doing, putting on their jewels and their neck jewel. I don't know what you call it. There's a word for that. But y'all putting on the women are putting on y'all jewelry, y'all bangles. Y'all walk around proud, lawless, lawless,
stretching your neck out.
It's a coincidence she's doing this way over here in America. She's an Israelite, family.
I seen so many women that look like her.
These are the images they don't want you to talk. And this is the word Abishai helped us out with. Bloqueamiento. This is what they had to do because remember we read Benjamin Franklin says the whole world is dark and us white people are proportionally small in number. So they said, let's start raping their women, diluting the blood. That's why you got some Puerto Ricans are called white Puerto Ricans. I guarantee if you go back a couple generations, all of them are dark. But after you rape our grandmothers, what you think gonna happen? We lost our phenoms. You see these, the Olmecs. These are now at the bottom. You get these imposters at the bottom. Iron Eye Cody's in them. These people are imposters, family. White Wolf.
From Mortal Kombat, Night Wolf.
Night Wolf. Night Wolf. All this happened to us, family, because we didn't keep the laws of our Father. That's why we take these laws seriously. That's why we're begging our family and friends, come out of Christianity. Read the laws. Find out who you are. Don't take our word for it. Just get the sources we're offering. We are the children of Israel. There is no safety for us. There is no redemption until we come back to our covenant. They're not going to teach you this in school. I bet you everybody got somebody in their family looks like this. These are real Indians, real Indies, black, woolly hair people.
My grandmother looks just like one of them.
Calm. You see, they got their hair braided with no rubber bands and all that mess. We don't need all that glue.
My grandma looked just like her.
Keep our hair braided.
On the far left, that young lady. I'm gonna pull up a picture of my grandma.
Does she got fringes on?
Maybe. Maybe.
I think she got fringes on. Y'all see that? To the far left?
That's my grandmother.
Oh, she's beautiful. She's beautiful. This is who we are, family. When you celebrate Thanksgiving, you're celebrating the mass genocide of our ancestors who were over here in this world before the Europeans.
Realistically, y'all got kind of like the same eye structure.
Yeah, I seen that.
We cousins.
Here's an Israelite with their fringes on. This is I think a king. This is a king from South America, I believe. I think this was in South America in 1790. How do you get iron's eye Codys from these images, family? Can you explain that to me? And that's another thing. Is it a coincidence that these Indians, their weapon of choice, their hunting weapon is a bow? When our father Israel, who was dying, he told Judah, he said, teach your brothers the bow. All these things are not coincidences. These are breadcrumbs of who we are, family. The real.
Because Judah is the bow and Ephraim's the arrow.
Zechariah 9 or Zechariah 10. So family, we're coming to a close. This is Unhappy Thanksgiving, and we want our brothers and sisters to know it's more than just a meal. These people are not going to tell you what you're really doing. You're celebrating their victory over our people. The Indians look like us. They talk Hebrew. They were our descendants who lost their way long before the slave ships came. But they are our descendants. They are under the curses. That's what you're doing when you celebrate Thanksgiving. Y'all have anything before we close out?
Yeah, I just want to read Ezekiel chapter 20, verses 39 through 43. Because as we said earlier and read in Jeremiah or Jeremiah chapter 11, the Most High gave us clear cut and dry instruction, and he made it in pure black and white, so there was no gray area. And our people in their rebellion still chose to act outside of that clear instruction and do what we wanted to do because we were trying to be like the other nations. Pretty much what we're doing today. You can read this book. We can give people understanding and let them know clearly, especially after tonight, Thanksgiving is honoring idol gods. Christmas, Valentine's Day, etc. There's nothing new under the sun. So our people were doing these same things. It just looked different because of the times. Like I said earlier, Satan modernizes these things and makes it seem like you're doing something to worship the Most High, to worship Yah, but you're really worshiping him. He's pretty much making the unclean clean in our eyes, which is the strong delusion. So Ezekiel chapter 20, verse 39, this is what Yahweh says unto us if we continue to walk in our disobedience. As for you, O house of Israel, thus saith Yahweh Elohim, go ye and serve ye every one his idol. So go celebrate Christmas. Go celebrate Thanksgiving. And hereafter also. So go ahead and just do your thing. Teach your children. If you will not hearken unto me, but pollute ye my holy name no more with your gifts and with your idols. So go and worship whatever you gonna go worship, but just don't put my name in your mouth. So go worship your little Christmas tree. Go worship your little Thanksgiving turkey and ham, but don't bring me into it, making it seem like you honoring me with all these things. Verse 40, for in mine holy mountain, in the mountain of the height of Israel, saith Yahweh Elohim, there shall all the house of Israel, all of them in the land, serve me. There will I accept them, and there will I require your offerings and the first fruits of your oblations with all your holy things. I will accept you with your sweet savor when I bring you out from the people and gather you out of the countries wherein you have been scattered, America, Australia, etc., etc., etc. And I will be sanctified in you before the heathen. And you shall know that I am Yahweh when I shall bring you into the land of Israel, into the country for the which I lifted up mine hand to give it to your fathers. And there shall you remember your ways and all your doings wherein you have been defiled, and you shall loathe yourselves in your own sight for all your evils that you have committed. Verse 44, and then I'll wrap it up and give it back to Marah. And you shall know that I am Yahweh when I have wrought with you for my name's sake, not according to your wicked ways, nor according to your corrupt doings, O ye house of Israel, saith Yahweh Elohim. Hallelujah.
Hallelujah. Hallelujah. The Most High is constantly reminding us that I've never rewarded you according to the wickedness that you committed against me. That's how much he loves his people. So we don't blame the colonizers, the Europeans, for coming over here and decimating our people. We blame our people for not keeping the Most High's law, statutes, and commandments.
It's our fault.
But we're trying to wake our people up, and also the strangers who are humanitarians. You say you know, all lives matter. So you don't have to be a descendant of the dark Israelites. You don't have to be a descendant of the dark Hebrews. All you have to do is love mankind, because how can you rightfully, with a clear conscience, after all the sources we brought out tonight to show you that the original people over here called Indians were dark people, and then to take it one step further, not only were they dark people, but they're actually the children of Israel, the chosen people of the Most High. And the people, the Europeans, made false covenants, gave them alcohol and liquor. And yes, you know, no one made you drink, no one made us be lawless, but the Europeans did the Most High's children dirty. And now you in 2021, you're continuing to perpetuate their victory, their evilness over us.
You've been tricked into loving them hating us. So at this point, after the night, whoever watches this video moving forward, if you choose, should you choose to stay in this, just stop fronting and say you hate the Most High and his people. That's really all it is at this point. If you see this video with understanding and still choose to stay in the worshiping of these pagan days, you might as well just come out and say you hate the Most High and his people.
We didn't even go into the pagan symbolism of it, because I know our people. Oh, I don't do that. I don't do that. Oh, we don't have that on our house. But everything about this time of the year is pagan. The wreaths, the cornucopias, those horns full of fruits.
Yeah,
those are for pagan gods.
I saw the other day the wreath represented the vagina of Semiramis and the tree represented the phallus of Nimrod. I said, oh,
but see, when we bring that out, our people, we don't believe in that. But you don't know what you're doing. You don't know why you're using these symbols. Why you're decorating your homes with these things. You're in the land of your captivity, just mocking or imitating your oppressors, and you're upsetting your father. We brought out for Shabbat. He says your feast days are like smoke in my nose.
He hates.
Y'all used to smoke. Did y'all ever used to smoke?
I remember that burning sensation of being around like my cousins and uncle.
When that smoke go up your nose the wrong way, you know,
get choked out.
Yeah, smoke going up your nose is pain. It makes your eyes tear up. That's what the Most High is saying. Your feast, these unholy feast days of the Romans that you're practicing, Thanksgiving, Christmas, Easter, is smoke to his nose. So family, we're bringing this to a close. So like we open up with, I want to leave you with this image. Imagine you're at a table, beautiful, handcrafted, ivory table. You've been eating at this neighbor's house for years, coming celebrating with these people. And finally, one year, maybe this be the year, they come out and says, you know, this ivory table you've been eating at all these years, all these meals with us, all these glasses of wine you had on this table. Yeah, this table is not ivory. This table is composed of the bones of your ancestors. These are your dead ancestors' bones that you've been eating at. Would you still eat at this table? Would you come back another year? Because that's what you're doing with Thanksgiving and the rest of these pagan feast days. You're celebrating the slaughter of our people. You're celebrating the lawlessness that got us kicked out the land that upset our Holy Father. The Messiah himself knows nothing about these days. The Messiah himself never kept any of these days. So whether you be a Christian, you have no authority to keep this day. If you're a human, you have no, if you have any loving bone in your body, and you understand the magnitude of what happened in 1620, and then what wind up happening in 1676 when they murdered the people, you cannot eat another turkey leg with a clear conscience. And if you are a so-called Native American, a so-called Hispanic, a so-called Negro, you have no business celebrating Thanksgiving. So those of you who stayed with us to the end, those of you who want to see this replay, we pray the Most High will be done. We pray that someone is pricked in their heart and their spirit to want to know more about the Most High and his holy covenant, to know more about our King Hamashiach and what he did for us. If you have any comments, questions, you're too shy to post them publicly, you can send us an email at TorahGroup12, that's TorahGroup, the number 12, at gmail.com, or you can send us an email at justgivemebooktv@gmail.com. So I pray someone was edified. I pray someone comes out of the pagan Roman hell days and come back to the covenant of the Most High Yah. With that, I yield for any questions, comments, or concerns.